Hey yo, welcome to the channel for my Premier League predictions. Game week 13, game week 12, especially Chelsea versus Man City, was a game of entertaining, thrilling, mind-busting. The unexpected happened. Going to this game, nobody predicted that 8 goals was going to come out from this game. If you're new, subscribe to this channel, put on the notification bell. Anytime I release a video, you may be one of the first people to be notified. Without wasting much of your time, let's get into the game week 13 predictions. Yes, to begin, the first game in game week 13 is between Manchester City versus Liverpool. This is the game of the week, and this match is an early kickoff. As you can see, I've already lost my voice as a result of Chelsea versus Man City. I overshout, I over-celebrate like it was mind-busting. And going to this game, Man City coming from a 4-4 draw with Chelsea against the Liverpool side, who also won 3-0 against Brentford. Going to this game is a cracker game. We all know Man City versus Liverpool is a game of goals. Both teams are just good. They are all title favorite, and going to this game, it would just take only a little twist for any of them to win. So going to this game, I'm predicting a 2-2 draw. Man City 2, Liverpool 2. Yes, and moving on to the next game is between Burnley versus West Ham United. Going to this game, Burnley is coming from a 3-1 loss against Arsenal, and West Ham too is coming from a 3-2 win. So going to this game, I think West Ham, despite they are going away, but they have the advantage over Burnley. Burnley at the moment are at the bottom of the Premier League, 20th position, as compared to West Ham United, who is also 9th on the league table. Going to this game is a tough game for Burnley, but to predict this game, I'm predicting a 2-1 win for West Ham. West Ham 2, Burnley 1. Yes, and the next game is between Luton Town versus Crystal Palace. Going to this game in game 13, I think Luton is coming from a 1-0 loss against Manchester United. In that game, I think Luton Town did well, despite United is a team which is struggling to score more goals this season. But I think in that game, Luton, they defended well. But Crystal Palace too also going to this game, despite in game 12 they lost. And going to this game is a must-win game for Crystal Palace. But I will not be surprised if Luton Town pull up a surprise and even win this game by 2-1. But going to this game, my prediction is Crystal Palace 2, Luton Town 1. Yes, moving on to the next game is between Newcastle United versus Chelsea. In game week 12, Newcastle lost to Bournemouth by 2-0, and Chelsea also drew 4-4 with Manchester City, which I think it was a huge performance for Chelsea. And going to this game against Newcastle after this international break, I think Newcastle is coming and they still have some key players who will be missing this game. And Chelsea to have Christopher Nkunku, Romeo Lavia, them all coming from injury is a great boost to this Chelsea team. And going to this game, I'm predicting a 4 goals affair. Chelsea 3, Newcastle 1. Yes, and moving on to the next game is between Nottingham Forest versus Brighton. In game week 12, Brighton drew 1-1 with Sheffield United, and Nottingham Forest also lost to West Ham United by 3-2. And going to this game in game week 13, I think it's a different ball game altogether. And going to this game, we all know Brighton is a team that can score more goals, and Nottingham Forest to this season, their defensive record hasn't been bad at all as compared to previous season. So going to this game, I think there will be more goals in this game. I'm predicting a draw. Nottingham Forest 2, Brighton 2. Yes, and moving on to the next game is between Sheffield United versus Bournemouth. In game week 12, Bournemouth got a hard-fought victory over Newcastle by 2-0, which was very impressive. a team like Bournemouth winning over Newcastle was unpredictable. Nobody even predicted it, and even getting a clean sheet in that game was very, very good for Bournemouth. And Sheffield United in game week 12 also drew with Brighton 1-1, and I think these two clubs are all trying their possible best to fight this relegation battle. But I mean, it is what it is. Going to this game in game week 13, I'm predicting Bournemouth to get a narrow win over Sheffield United. I'm predicting a 2-1 win for Bournemouth. Bournemouth to Sheffield United 1. Yes, moving on to the next game is between Brentford versus Arsenal. In game week 12, Brentford was unlucky. They lost against Liverpool by 3-0, and Arsenal also got a 3-1 victory over Burnley, which was expected. But going to this game in game 13, I think it's a different ball game, and this is a London derby. You all know what it means when it comes to this derby in London. Going to this game is going to be a hard-fought match for Arsenal, and to predict this game, I'm predicting a 2-1 win for Arsenal. Arsenal to Brentford 1. Yes, moving on to the next game is between Tottenham Hotspurs versus Aston Villa. In game week 12, Tottenham lost to Wolves by 2-1, which I predicted it and I got a spot on. Going to this game against Aston Villa to in game week 12, they got a 3-1 victory. And going to this game, I think this is a fight that needs more attention. Aston Villa this season hasn't been bad, they have been very good. Same with Tottenham Hotspur. After Chelsea, they met Chelsea and they lost 4-1 against Chelsea. This was their second defeat against Wolves in a row. So I'm not expecting Tottenham to lose this game against Aston Villa, despite they have injuries and things. But going to this game against Aston Villa, I'm predicting a 2-2 draw. Aston Villa 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Yes, moving on to the next game is between Everton versus Manchester United. Everton in game week 12 got a win over Crystal Palace by 3-2, and Manchester United also got a win over Luton Town by 1-0. And going to this game in game week 13, I think this is an interesting game. We all know Everton versus Manchester United is a boring game, which we don't expect much goals. But going to this game, I think this season Everton, despite they had a bad start, but at this point I think they are grinding the results and they are getting it. So going to this game against Manchester United team, which is also struggling to put in goals, I think I'm predicting a 2-1 win for Everton. Everton to Manchester United 1. Yes, moving on to the last game in game week 13 is between Fulham versus Wolves. Fulham in game week 12, they lost to Aston Villa, and Wolves also got a victory, 2-1 victory over Tottenham Hotspur. Going to this game in game week 18, I think this is a beautiful game by Aston. Despite Fulham in their recent games having been good, but playing home at this point, I think they are going to at least grind the results or even get a point from this game. But going to this game, I'm predicting a 2-1 win for Fulham. Fulham to Wolves 1. Yes, these are my predictions for 2023-24 campaign season game week 13. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Kindly show me love, like this video. My like target for this video is 100 likes. I'll be very, very grateful if I get 100 likes on this video. Share with friends till we meet in another video. Bye bye for now.